Daniel Farke, Leeds United, sort it out. Okay, it's another must-win for Leeds United on Friday night at the Hawthorns against West Brom, 8:15 kickoff, and this is the match preview. All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. Hope you've all had a fantastic day. The match previews are back. Sorry I didn't drop one for the Preston game, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. I just do want to say thank you for the support on last video. It nearly got 10,000 views, which is absolutely mental. If you could do the same here, we're not going to. But be sure to smash that like button. That would be absolutely appreciated. Let's go for 250 likes. Also, subscribe if you're new. We've hit 12.8k now. The next goal is 12.9. Subscribe if you're new. And also comment your score predictions for Leeds or for West Brom versus Leeds United. We're going to talk into some changes maybe Daniel Farke should make. We're going to just have a little chat about the whole game, and then obviously I like to end it with my score prediction. But let's firstly quickly touch off with that depressing knockout blow on Boxing Day from Preston as they beat Leeds United 2-1 at Deepdale, made Leeds United look silly, made them look, I don't know, everything under the sun. Just made us look rubbish, really, didn't they, Preston? And I'm not for, we looked good before the sending off. We didn't. It always looked Preston's game, if I'm being completely honest. I went on Just Joe's show last night, The Final Word. Legend, some good people on there as well. Evie, JT, Joe Blackburn, lovely people. We all just spoke about there's an arrogance to this team sometimes. There's an arrogance to Farke's tactics. There's an arrogance to, the players when they got in that pitch against Preston. They're thinking, we've just pumped Ipswich 4-0. We can easily, it's Preston. What are we worried about? And of course, the lower end teams are going to be bigging themselves up to play Leeds United. Like, it's Leeds United. Like, even teams in the Premier League want to play Leeds United and want to beat Leeds United. Just historically, they do. And teams are getting up for games where we need to be getting up for games. We're getting up for the big games like the West Brom game tomorrow. That's why I'm quietly confident. I think, against the better teams, we do turn up. It's the games that we need to, we've dropped points in the last 2 weeks against Sunderland, Coventry, and Preston. What's going on there? But we've beaten Ipswich. And it's things like that where I'm like, what is this? The inconsistency of this team. We're consistently inconsistent. And I think that just sums Leeds United up. Consistently inconsistent. But yeah, with the Preston game, it was just... There was only a couple of people who can maybe hold their head high that game. I would say Pascal. I thought he put in a proper captain's performance. I don't think he actually deserved to be on the losing side that day. Joe Rodon was okay as well. Poor Archie Gray. I know the people are going to say Archie Gray needs to be benched. He was rubbish against Miller, against Preston. I think he needs to be benched for other reasons. He's young. He's played a lot of football, and right back's not his position. Yes, it wasn't his best game. Probably his worst game in a Leeds shirt. But I'm not thinking he's rubbish. In hindsight, he's been one of our best players this season. I think we're all, honest enough to admit that. And he's 17, and come on, he's playing out of position, and he's done very well. He just did struggle against Liam Miller against Preston. But yeah, we deserved that loss. We did deserve that loss. A bit of stupidity from Melier as well. People are saying it's soft. The ref had a poor game. And the thing is, this whole thing with referees, every fan has that excuse of poor refs, and it probably all evens out. Like, no ref hates us more than the ref hates Leicester. No, do you know what I mean? I just think it all evens out. We can't blame things on the ref. I don't think we can. We got a soft penalty that game. Melier, if your hands are up here, you only give the referee one decision to make. That's what I think. I think it all weighs out in the end. Man United have a go at the refs. Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, they all have a go at the refs. At the end of the day, probably all weighs out, and we probably all got some wrong and got lucky on some occasions. So we just need to get them excuses out the way. We just weren't good enough. And now let's move on to West Brom. West Brom will, we played them at Ellen Road, I think second or third game into the season in our August period, which we don't like to talk about because it was all over the place. And yeah, it's going to be a completely different game. They're a very physical side. When I've watched them on TV, they can do the physicalness easily, and also they can play good football. So it's going to be, and we know how good Carlos Corberán is, obviously being Bielsa's right-hand man for the few years Bielsa was here, and he was excellent, Carlos, and he was, up there for maybe replacing, coming in before Daniel Farke, maybe to start this championship season off. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. It is. And going to the Hawthorns, it's going to be tough. And if they beat us, I think there's something like 3 points behind us. And then Southampton, if they get another win, and Ipswich, people keep winning, we're slowly falling down the pecking order. And that's why Leeds United and Daniel Farke need to sort it out. The stubbornness and just the arrogance. And sometimes we just need to play in our football. We need to have a bit more not even a plan B, because I think Joe quoted Bielsa, which is something like, if I have to like show my players a plan B, that means they should lose trust in me because of my plan A not working, along them lines. I'm paraphrasing, which I think is fantastic. Actually, I think it's bang on. If you don't have, I think you need a real solid plan A, because if you start doing all these different plans, then surely the players will start losing trust in you. And I think that's a perfect analogy as well. And I'm not Daniel Farke out, I'm Daniel Farke in. I do think he'll be doing, and he is doing, well, I don't know if he is doing, but I think he would be the best manager right now for us. He's done it in the Championship twice before. But I do struggle sometimes to see Daniel Farke's tactics. And, sometimes when I say things like this, people say, oh, you're just sitting on the fence, Ollie. And I don't think I am. I think I'm just balancing thoughts. I'm Daniel Farke in 100%. I'm not even Daniel Farke out 1% at the moment. And I don't think I will be, because I don't think there's anyone who can come in and do a better job, because a lot of people are quick to jump Daniel Farke out, but then they don't have a replacement, and there's a rebuild, and then there's players who might come in who I don't know. I just don't think things like that work as quickly as fans want. But yeah, let's talk about my predicted 11 now. It's predicted and kind of an 11 I want. Obviously, Carl Darlow will start in goal. We know that. He's got a lot of harsh criticism, I personally think. Yes, he hasn't been the greatest in a Leeds shirt, but I don't think if any of the goals he could have done anything about. Against Preston, I would genuinely start Jed Spence right back. I think that's his best position. It's his only position, and that's where he needs to play. And it's unlucky on Archie, but I think this is the best time to make changes after you've had a loss. I think that's just bang on. I don't think it's Archie's fault. I still love the kid. He's been one of the best players this season. He just needs a rest, and then maybe can get back into a central midfielder position. The two centre backs, the only two that could probably keep their head up from the Boxing Day clash, was Joe Rodon and Pascal. Despite losing the game, I don't think them two deserve to be on the losing team, and they their spot starts themselves. Sam Byram, I would start a left back. I think he is a key figure in this side. I really do. I think he's been so underrated this season. And when we haven't had him in, we have looked different. We have looked really different. So if Sam Byram, I know Daniel Farke said he's part of the squad. He wasn't going to play him for a lot of time if he did come on against Preston. But he's trained the next few days, and he should be available for that West Brom squad. I think even 70-80% fit, you start Sam Byram. In the middle of the park, I've gone Ampadu and Kamara. I'm not actually fully against Gruev coming in for maybe Kamara. I don't think Kamara's been awful, but I think the looks of Ilya Gruev, I think his touches in the middle of the park have looked quite good. But the only thing is why I would play Glenn Kamara is how physical West Brom are. And I don't think, I sometimes look at Ilya Gruev. He's a difference on the ball, and he's got nice little feet, and his passing range is good, but he lacks maybe that physicality where I think we could win that game in the first half. I'm not against Gruev starting, though, or even coming on 100%. I think he's done a good few cameos when he has come on. The front four is always the debatable one. Who drops out? I've put in my team that Dan James should drop out, and I don't think that's, I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking there, because a lot of people are putting their front fours different. They're saying, put Willy Gnonto in on the left, Somerville in the 10, and then Gnonto on the right, drop Piro. I think for a game like this, we do need Joel Piro. I did see a stat yesterday that Joel Piro actually hasn't scored or assisted away from home since August. So he really does need to do something tomorrow night. But I do think Joel Piro has a goal in him tomorrow night. I really do. But I would bench Dan James. Nothing to do with Dan personally. I just think Willy Gnonto does earn a start. And Joel Piro, maybe he's on his last sort of warning. And maybe if he doesn't perform tomorrow, then you do bring in Somerville in the 10. Gnonto on the left, Dan James on the right. I'd like to see that. I think it would be a bit unfair maybe to drop Dan James, but we've just lost the game. So let's make some changes. So as you can see on the screen, that'll be my starting 11. Let me know yours in the comments down below. My score prediction for the game, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leeds. Leeds United can't afford to lose this game. How many times we've said that already this season? But I think Daniel Farke and Leeds need to sort it out. And if we don't, it's going to be a long season and a mental reaction from me after that game. Guys, if you did enjoy this match preview, be sure to smash that like button. Let's go for 250 likes. Also subscribe if you're new. A bit of a tongue twister. Pop your teeth in, Ollie. Subscribe if you're new, and also comment your score predictions and your starting 11 in the comments. I'll speak to you guys after tomorrow night, and let's fingers crossed it's a win. I've been Ollie Ward. You guys have been excellent, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheery. Oh.